Okay. All right. Unfortunately, in collegiate gymnastics, we hear that all they're judging is the steps on landing. Now, that's not true. We aren't judging the body position, the open, what happens before they land. But sometimes I think, since we see the landing last, that's what sticks in our mind. And we forget, particularly on an event like ours, where you have all this going on the high bar, and then you have this tricky little dismount, and you have to decide if the body position is stretched, or if she piked in the first salto, she piked down, do you give the E credit, what do you do here? But the landing, we see the landing, and we make that decision, and then we forgot the skill that went before that, and we have to concentrate on evaluating that skill all the way through to the landing. But if we can walk out of this room and make sure that we are taking this deduction the same every single meet of the year, wherever we go, we'll be ahead of the game. Now, within an NCAA meet, they count 20 scores. So figure out how many landings that would be. If you're taking a half tenth when you should be taking a tenth, or you're taking a tenth when you should be taking 2 tenths, you can actually affect the score by anywhere from a point to 2 points. And that means a lot in collegiate gymnastics. Sometimes a tenth means a lot. So, I don't know if you can move your feet or not.
Yeah. The decimal's in the wrong spot.
But the last thing there says 0.5.
I'm sorry. Okay, glad you caught that. I'm sorry. Thank you. You're paying attention. Glad you can read. All right, it is 0.5. I will fix that. One step, one landing. All right, so the athlete lands. Now, we all know what a stick is, okay? But if she takes one step forward with her foot and brings that foot back to join the foot that has not left under her base of support, that's 1/10. Okay? If she goes sideways and brings it back, that's 1/10. If she steps back and brings it forward, that's 1/10. Now here's the tricky part, and this is where judges have not been as consistent as they potentially will be. Takes one step forward with the right foot, brings the left foot up.
2 steps.
How many say 1? How many say 2? Some of you are wrong. Okay, one step forward, bring the other foot up to meet it, 1/10. They are all 1/10. So play with your feet. I don't care. Later in the day, I'd make you stand up. Step forward, step back, 1/10. Step forward, bring the other foot up to meet it. It's still 1/10. Now, the half 10, not the 0.5, the half 10. Is when there's like a little nudge, or maybe it's not even a step, but the athlete lands and just kind of slides that little foot back. I would say less than a foot length. That's the guideline that I use. So if she lands and her left foot never moves, but her right foot is a little bit ahead and the legs are slightly apart, and she slides that foot back, it wasn't a perfect landing. Everybody in the audience can see that. They judge all the time, and they judge us. But if there's that little nudge, that's the half 10. Or she lands with her feet apart. Now we are talking only about the feet. I'm not talking about the knees. I'm not talking about the legs apart. I'm not talking about the butt sticking out, the chest being forward, the angle upon landing. None of that. We're just talking about landings. If she lands and takes a big hop forward with 2 feet, and the definition in the JO code, which is what we go back to for all of our execution deductions, is what's in that JO code. And they describe it as being 3 feet. That is your 2/10 deduction. Okay, very large step or jump, approximately 3 feet or more. And that is a flat 210 deduction. Extra steps. So if she lands 2 feet, hops and jumps, up to 4. 1/10 each. Think we're okay on that? Everybody got it? Isn't why green instead of blue? All right, because we're going to judge 3 landings. And we're all going to get them right. Okay, together. Oops, I think I'm just. Oh, you know. Is there anybody in the room that would not take 2? Come on, flash your stone.
She's that.
That's a 2/10. That wasn't a 1/10. That was a 2/10.
But you didn't stop there. Well, that's
She's here a 3rd time. Yeah, she hopped 3 feet.
And then she took a step.
All right, now, I'm glad you picked that up. Because she landed, and then she took another step before she presented. And by the definition, that should be a deduction.
So that should have been 3
You're saying it's 2 times because of the one?
Oh, well, it's 2 feet and here. That was a sliding.
Because right there, right there's the discrepancy. She's not her first page.
All right. If they show lack of control prior to presenting to the judge, that is a 1/10 deduction. They must control their landing. Now, in the moment, your decision will be, did she land that ball? And is it a half, a 1, a 2? And was that step part of her presentation? Or was the step part of the lack of control on landing? And that's where your abilities as a judge